Someone please make this make sense. Working in the video game industry is probably as secure as flying in a Boeing plane these days. There are so many people being laid off in droves. And then we have Microsoft, who just hit all-time highs for their stock price just a few months ago, doing a massive layoff after their acquisition of Bethesda Game Studios, parent company ZeniMax. This is unbelievable, and the most frustrating part about all of it is I woke up today seeing that Nintendo made an announcement that they'd be talking about the Switch 2 in this fiscal calendar year, and I was excited to talk about that. I was like, finally, some good news to talk about on YouTube. But no. We got Microsoft coming into gaming saying, nope, can't have good news, can't talk about that, because we're morons. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and yes, Microsoft has announced devastating cuts at Bethesda. And this goes beyond just the whole run-of-the-mill, yeah, Redfall sucks, we had to cancel that future content and close that game studio because it wasn't a good game. No, I mean, yeah, that one makes sense, but no, they went well beyond that and closed a whole bunch of other studios that were producing good games. Games that people were looking forward to futures with, sequels to, quality experiences that even Microsoft themselves have admitted that they were great successes. And then a few months later, they get closed down. Hit the subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for more information on this absurd studio closure situation coming from Microsoft. First off, some house cleaning. The Kotaku Change.org petition that I created is up to now over 200 signatures in less than 24 hours, and there are a ton of people sharing this thing on social media, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. I'm hopeful that some of the bigger names will pick up on this and actually get it out there, because I feel like it's a very important cause that I don't want to lose focus on. With that out of the way, let's talk about these studio closures. Microsoft has announced the closure of several Bethesda studios, leading to widespread layoffs within the company. The affected studios include Arkane Austin, who is known best for Redfall, or infamous for Redfall, depending on how you feel about that game. And then they also affected Tango Gameworks, the team behind Hi-Fi Rush, and The Evil Within. Now, Hi-Fi Rush is one of those games that people were talking about potential Game of the Year material and how it was a roaring success at launch, to the point where Microsoft's VP of Marketing, Aaron Greenberg, even said on Twitter, Hi-Fi Rush was a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango Gameworks delivered with this surprise release. April 21st, 2023. So just about 1 year later, everyone there loses their job. Apparently it wasn't that big of a breakout hit if it can't even guarantee them a job within a year of releasing a breakout hit of a game. In addition to that, Alpha Dog Studios will be shut down and Roundhouse Games will merge into ZeniMax Online Studios. These closures are part of Microsoft's strategic realignment to prioritize high-impact titles and bolster its investment in Microsoft's major franchises. Per IGN, Matt Booty, the head of Xbox Game Studios, communicated these changes in an email to the staff, supposedly emphasizing the company's focus on building and expanding its current existing portfolio of games that they think that there's going to be money to be made out of. Because apparently the breakout hits that were being made weren't making them money? I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it, and I just can't. Today, I'm sharing changes we are making to our Bethesda and ZeniMax teams. These changes are grounded in prioritizing high-impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds which you have nurtured over many decades. To double down on these franchises and invest to build new ones requires us to look across the business to identify opportunities that are best positioned for success. This reprioritization of titles and resources means a few teams will be realigned to others and that some of our colleagues will be leaving us. Look at how nicely that's put. Like, hey, we're just going to make a couple changes here, move a couple dots around the plot mark here and put these teams here and everything's going to be fine. We're going to let go of a shit ton of people, but don't worry about that information. Let's talk about how we're reprioritizing our approach to make sure we maximize the profits out of these properties that Bethesda has. Here are the changes that are going into effect. Arkane Austin. This studio will close with some members of the team joining other studios to work on projects across Bethesda. Arkane Austin has a history of making impactful and innovative games, and it is a pedigree that everyone should be proud of. I would beg to differ with how Redfall was basically a massive commercial flop after they had very high expectations for what amounted to be a bug-filled horrible experience that, yes, I'm sure everyone always hears that, oh, I enjoyed the game, I thought it was good. Overall, it got panned by reviewers. That doesn't mean that there's a couple people out there that enjoyed it. My main point is Redfall was a commercial flop in every sense of the word. So it makes sense for them to be closing that studio, and I'm not arguing that one. Redfall's previous update will be its last as we end all development on the game. The game and its servers will remain online for players to enjoy, and we will provide make-good offers to players who purchase the Hero DLC. So the promised heroes that were going to be added to Redfall in a future update are no longer coming. And the DLC that they were selling ahead of time, people already purchased it, and now they're not getting what they were promised. Man, the all-digital future is just great, isn't it? Alpha Dog Studios. This studio will also close. We appreciate the team's creativity in bringing Doom to new players. Mighty Doom will be sunset on August 7th, and we will be turning off the ability for players to make any purchases in the game. Tango Gameworks. Tango Gameworks will also close. We are thankful for their contributions to Bethesda and players around the world. Hi-Fi Rush will continue to be available to players on the platforms it is today. Here's the thing with Hi-Fi Rush and why this one really irks me more than anything else in this announcement. Hi-Fi Rush had the potential to go multi-platform, make money everywhere. This team could have been banging out DLC, having it on Nintendo Switch, and then for whatever reason they pulled the reins back and were like, apparently the PlayStation 5 will be sufficient enough. We don't need to put the game on the Nintendo Switch no matter how perfect it might be for that platform and no matter how many copies it would sell. No, it doesn't need to be there. For what reason? Strategic realignment. Focusing on other Bethesda games, even though Hi-Fi Rush was a roaring success and could have gone a massive audience on Nintendo Switch especially. No, Microsoft feels they don't want to do that and instead fire the team. Roundhouse Games. The team at Roundhouse Games will be joining ZeniMax Online Studios. Roundhouse has played a key role in many of our recent game launches, and bringing them into ZOS to work on the Elder Scrolls Online will mean we can do even more to grow the world that millions of players call home. With this consolidation of our Bethesda studio teams so that we can invest more deeply in our portfolio of games and new IP, a small number of roles across select Bethesda publishing and corporate teams will also be eliminated. I would love to know the actual number because, to be honest, I don't believe a damn word about any of this when they say small number, minor amount, realigning teams, a few players here and there. They're literally shutting entire studios down with no plan of where they're going and then following that up with a small number of people won't have a job anymore. Those whose roles will be impacted will be notified today, and we ask that you please treat your departing colleagues with respect and compassion. We will provide our full support to those who are impacted in today's notifications and through their transitions, including severance benefits informed by local laws, because they have to. Not that they want to give severance, because local laws are requiring it. These changes are not a reflection of the creativity and skill of the talented individuals at these teams or the risks they took to try new things. I acknowledge that these changes are also disruptive to the various support teams across ZeniMax and Bethesda that bring our games to market. We are making these tough decisions to create capacity, to increase investment in other parts of our portfolio, and focus on our priority games. Here's the thing with Microsoft. They shift the goalpost every few months. They can't focus and fixate on an actual end outcome that they desire, because by the time they get to the point where they could actually be releasing a game, they move the goalpost again and say, oh, actually, we're not going to be releasing that because we're not making money in this area. The dynamics of the market have shifted based off of the calculations of these numbers. We need to let all these people go, realign all this stuff, and put it into these other games that are making money. And then 6, 10 months, 12 months down the road, they're going to be like, oh man, We probably should have other game studios making more games because this 1 or 2 games that we're making isn't enough to sustain our company. Bethesda remains one of the key pillars of Xbox with a strong portfolio of amazing games and thriving communities. As we look to the future, there is an impressive lineup of games on the horizon. In 2024 alone, we have Starfield Shattered Space, Fallout 76 Skyline Valley, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and The Elder Scrolls Online's Golden Road, as we align our plans and resources to best set ourselves up for success in this complex and changing industry. Our teams across Arkane Line, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, Machine Games, ZeniMax Online Studios, and the Bethesda publishing and corporate teams will be well positioned to build new IP, explore new game concepts, and expand on our existing franchises. All those games that he announced, save for Indiana Jones, which already has a bunch of games out there, are major franchises that are just rehashing the same goddamn thing over and over again. Hi-Fi Rush was a new IP in a new direction. The Evil Within was a new IP in a new direction. And they were successes, roaring successes, to the point of, wow, this studio can actually make it on their own, creating new game concepts that don't exist otherwise. And what do? Get shut down for being successful. The restructuring at Microsoft reflects broader industry trends where layoffs have become increasingly common amid financial pressures and strategic pivots. The video game sector has faced a challenging period with significant layoffs continuing through 2024, highlighting the volatile nature of the industry. But truth be told, this reflects much more of a concerning trend. Microsoft closed at an all-time high recently thanks to progress and hype over artificial intelligence. And pairing that with this news just has to make you wonder, what are the priorities of Microsoft? Do they even care about the games division? There's so much money to be made elsewhere, like in artificial intelligence these days, and I'm not trying to sell that short because yes, there is a gold rush when it comes to AI, and that's where a lot of investments seem to be going. But because of that, it seems to be laying this video game industry by the wayside because everyone's rushing over to see the latest, greatest thing with artificial intelligence and forgetting about the games industry where it was making money hand over fist for decades. And I can't take Microsoft seriously with this kind of, it reads like a tongue-in-cheek letter of, yeah, we really appreciate you guys. You did a great job. These games are fantastic. And yeah, we know we told you during the launches about how they were roaring successes and we were selling way more than we expected, but we're going to let you go anyway because it doesn't align with our strategic vision of our corporate culture because we're more focused on the shareholders and stockholders for our company instead of the actual lives of the human beings working here. But hey, thanks for coming to Microsoft. Thanks for working for us. And thanks for nothing because we don't care about you. That's what I read into with all of this. It's gross, it's disgusting, it's right in line with the rest of the video game industry as of late. Nothing is safe, nothing is secure, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like anything is changing anytime soon. I'm going to leave it there. If you want more information, check out the Smash JT article. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing. Smash JT.